Hey! Okay, so this isn't Halloween related, but I mentioned this somewhere else, and I don't remember where. And I decided I want to talk about it here. Um, Back in the 80s, of course, Nintendo was doing quite a bit to promote their video games and products and all of that, and we of course know about the Mario show, and it's come up the whole um, the two guys that then went into the cartoon, and of course the short-lived Legend of Zelda cartoon show, which is making a comeback, whether people want to believe it or not. I loved that cartoon show, and I'll admit it. And there was actually another cartoon show. It was called Captain N, the Game Master. And it actually ran longer than I thought it did. I thought it only ran for one season, and it ran from 1989 to 1991. So, this is the thing, because I said when I commented that it had the idea of a fan fiction, it screamed fan fiction, is basically what I was saying. We talk about the movie Super Mario Brothers and how it just oozes fan fiction. And basically, they were just writing fan fiction and like, which one sounds good to you? And this was back when the concept of fan fiction the phrase fan fiction didn't exist. And but anyway, people were writing it, but they didn't know what to call it. But anyway, the idea of the TV series was this kid named Kevin. He was a teenager, and he would come home and he would be sucked into his TV and end up in what was called like video game world or something like that. Video world or game world or something like that. And he would fight alongside like Mario and Link, and they would fight these bad guys. So he was basically helping. I think his dog went with him, his dog Duke, because I remember a dog. And I also remember they also kind of used the show to see, this is the brilliance of Nintendo, because like the movie The Wiz, I think that's what it was. And Fred Savage was in it. Turns out Luke Edwards, who was the little boy in Newsies, he was in it too. Oh, they're everywhere. But that was actually a promotion for one of the products for Nintendo. Well, here's the thing. This cartoon did the same thing, because like his belt buckle, Kevin's belt buckle, it was the controller. I remember that. And of course, his weapon was the shooter. How many of you remember playing Duck Hunt and that shooter? Oh, the bane of my existence. I remember playing Duck Hunt and having it like right up against the screen. And it's I know you guys are gonna be like, well, that's not how you play it. I was 5, okay? I tried shooting the dog, for gosh sakes. I was so frustrated. Anyway, but yeah, he would have that was his weapon, was the gun controller and everything. But so anyway, what was it? Save Videoland, so that was the name of it, from evil forces led by Mother Brain, from floating world fortress called Metroid. That doesn't sound familiar. And so there were a lot of like Simon Belmont, Mega Man, Kid Icarus. Of course, Kid Icarus isn't as popular that I know of, anyway. Yeah, he isn't as popular as he used to be. He was extremely popular in my time. I'll tell you about the dinosaurs sometime. Just feels so old lately. But yeah, so this game, I mean, this show would show a lot of the video game characters. He would fight alongside them, not just Link and Mario, but you would also see much like Kid Icarus and Mega Man and those. And for as goofy as it is watching it as an adult, I loved it when I was a kid. I absolutely, but it does. When you watch it, it translates as just fan fiction. The idea of this, and I've read a lot of fan fiction where it's like you go into Hyrule and you end up meeting. I wrote one of those fan fiction stories. Very short lived because I thought that it was a 21-year-old writing something like that. But, so we've all written something like that. But here it was in the 80s, they had a show like that. This teenager with his dog after school going in and saving Videoland. And really, let's see, in most episodes, they were called the N team. Kind of like the A team. Gee, that's not obvious. Video game villains, usually led by Mother Brain, who is accompanied by her minions, like the Eggplant and Kid Icarus. Let's see, what are some others? There was also in Donkey Kong and the Count from Castlevania. So it was just a variety of all these different characters from all these different games, and that's how it worked. So, yeah, I mean, it does. It translates as fan fiction, and it's delightful. And it did sell their products, much like later that movie that I was talking about with Fred Savage. And yes, Luke Edwards, who was in Newsies, who played the little 10-year-old Les Jacobs, was in it as well. I think it helped promote the glove that was not a good product. Everyone wanted it though, and then once they got it, they're like, oh. But anyway, yeah, I remembered this and I mentioned it in somewhere else, and then I wanted to talk about it here because man, I used to watch this and it was delightful. But yeah, a lot of us have written fan fiction stories like this, and then it it does, it translates very much like fan fiction. And so Nintendo has always been writing stuff like this. But anyway, and it ran longer than I thought. I thought it was only one season, but it went from 1989 to 1991. But anyway, so that's Captain N and the Game Master.